security of tenure is important. But before you get to that security of tenure, you have to go, how was the appointment made? Because when you appoint based on certain considerations, I think if you are going to appoint an IG, there should be it should undergo a process. IGs, they don't feel secure in their position. You're in your office and you have a call to go to the villa. You don't know if you get to the villa, they're going to request that, okay, your services no longer are required. That is if they give you that respect. In some cases, you'll be attending the conference for somewhere in Maiduguri, and while you are there, your orderly will come and whisper to you, Oga, there is something on the news. You can never do your work. What we are talking about security of tenure is having a professional police force that does not bend to the left or bend to the right, bend to just the government wishes and caprices and wishes, or to the right. Now, when an officer can stand with his chest up, and that starts from your training, from your ASP or recruit, because as a constable, you can even arrest a minister. You've got to be given that confidence. But that is lacking, because when you find police officers in another crime, corporals or sergeants addressing the press boldly, and that happens when there is security of tenure. That means if you're an IG, the only ground you can be removed, you must have committed some infractions that require that the Senate would deliberate your removal and must reach a certain percentage or certain number, quorum, to remove you. But a situation where I appoint you, you make a law, that law conflicts even with the Constitution, even with the Retirement Act. If you reach the Pension Act and all of that, because the ground for public servants is 60 years. And what do you call it? The Police Act, within the twilight of your approaching retirement, and the law comes, no, you are given 4-year tenure. And so, what do? You are given 4-year tenure. There are some people who say, look, they're used to a certain system. You move from ASP to DSP and all that, and the time comes, and somebody blocks there because you are exiting, but the man at the head is not exiting. He's sitting there. So if you want to do it, it is not an act that can be rushed. I think the amendment that provided for 4 years, I think was rushed because it just went to the parliament, and the next thing, it is passed.
What do you think it should have been?
Or it should have gone through a process, because you have to sit down, the legal minds, look at the Constitution, look at the, what do you call it?
Police Act.
The Police Act, the Pension Act, the Public Service Act. What is the retirement age?
Yeah, so what is
because
missing?
The police is part of public.
What is missing now? Because are you saying security of tenure, there's a problem with
as far as
the
I'm
law
concerned,
as it is now?
Yeah, because when I tried a little while ago, when the Police Act 2020 came out, I tried to read through it, and I think in one of our meetings at the Retired Officers Association meeting, and we were looking at it, and what I saw is the public service or retirement of police has not changed from 60 years or 35 years.
So I do know that the appointment of this IG was a bit controversial, the outgoing IG, because he was supposed to have retired in 2024, and he was appointed in 2023. And then there was, I think, a slight amendment was made to the act, to make sure that he was able to serve for 4 years.
Exactly.
And that's why a lot of people are now wondering, okay, but it's not yet 4 years.
Why is he resigning?
But it's a big issue.
Police is a critical institution.
Yeah.
And the 4-year tenure, fantastic. It gives you opportunity to have your short-term plan, medium-term plan, and long-term plan. you are not going to engage in quick fix, as it will seem. But I think it will not be too much for government to sit down. Because, unfortunately, by the time you are getting to CP, you are getting to IG, gray hairs are coming out. You are already approaching 60.
Which is also a problem, it would seem, for this new acting IG, because he, from what we see, his date of birth is 1966. He should be 60 this year as well, but he's now just been appointed as acting IGP. Some people are saying that, you know, well, it's interim, but this is pending the confirmation. It's unclear if his name is the one going to be sent to the Senate or if he's just sitting in. But do you think that this is a problem in the sense that some people will say, should we really be looking at the retirement age, or should we look at if these people still have, you know, a lot to offer in terms of the leadership of the Nigeria police? Because if we're to go strictly by age, some people will say we could, you know, axe out our brightest and best as a result of these restrictions being placed around age.
Yeah, unfortunately, the public service retirement age has not been adjusted. But it doesn't matter. You can take it to 65 years. The problem of promotion, you see, the ranking structure of the police is a bit congested. If you look at small agencies like like road safety, within a short time, they have equivalents of ACGs, AIGs, within a short time of service. But in the police, your promotion must carry an appointment for the senior rank. You cannot be promoted an assistant commissioner and you are given the job of a DPO. So, unless they continue to expand the establishment to accommodate some of these developments, otherwise, it's going to be a problem. Recently, a lot of inspectors were graciously promoted to the rank of assistant superintendent of police. Now, that number is huge. But are you now going to put them on street patrol? Because they're senior officers. Right. So what I think, part of reform that should be done, you've got to expand establishment. Perhaps in a state like Lagos, but that will require constitutional amendment to have maybe AIG now to head commands and all that, so that you give room for more promotion. Okay, so if you don't do that, this is like myself, I served for 33 years, one month. All right. Because I turned 60, I didn't complete my 35 years. Do you understand? So, I mean, that's not a problem. Okay, so, we're winding down now, but for those who are ahead of him now, do you think they're going to retire them? Well, there is practice, there is convention. And I think what has been happening has been that those that are senior to him will retire. Why? The reason is... By senior, do you mean in age, or do you mean in length of service? Yeah, in rank. And I say this, for example, I know that the police is a civil organization, is not that regimented, but come to think of it now, I am your DIG, operations. You are the commissioner of police, FCT. Now I'm giving all the instructions, do this, do that. Oh, you didn't do this, issue query and all that, in terms of discipline. And that CPFCT is now IG, who has been taking instruction from you. And the next thing is your boss. It could be a little bit, but everything depends on the Police Service Commission. So the individual officer, if he wants to leave, or... But that's not entirely the case, because both practice and convention fall flat in the face of the law. Yeah. Because remember, in 2023, Joseph Mbu versus Police Service Commission, he won his case because he was wrongfully retired before age of 60, and he was told to pay 40 million. The PSC lost. 2025, not long ago, we also saw
Mr. Moses and back in 92 Professor's PSC, they also lost, PSC lost. So they said, you cannot retire them before their time. So if the PSC does it again, maybe this time they might award 70 million because the law is clear.
Yeah, I never talked about the law. I talked about practice.
Yeah, but the practice falls fast in the face of the law.
If you like, your son becomes your
boss,
your principal, and you are still the watchman in that school, that's up to you. That's why I say it was practice, convention, Police Service Commission,
so
and the disposition of the individual officer.
That takes us back to where we started, following those processes, those who is next. Because when you go all the way down, what happens to all those on top? And if you kick them out, they go to court.
I know your time is up. My time is up, but let me say something. If I were in this IG's shoe, the first thing I would do now is to sit down and have a policing plan. Take the policing plan to the president. Ask for special funding. He's a competent officer, but he's no longer in a command. He's now in a larger place in the country, policing about 200 million people. So he needs to get his policing plan right, get his policing priorities right, the elections, banditry, kidnapping, and all of that, and go to the president. Ebo or Baba, Eromilawo, give me this fund, give me that fund. If you do that, I am able to achieve this. And then the president say, look, I will adopt result-based budgeting for you. That means if you do this...
Shouldn't he wait until he's confirmed first?
No.
Because if he's acting,
have you ever seen any acting IG that has not been confirmed?
Okay,
please give me one.
Back to practice and convention.
Give me one.
Okay, well, we'll at that point. Thank you for coming on, Mr. Inalegwu, the former AIG himself.